What's up, everybody? So initially, I had plans to start the year off making videos and talking about will this be your great year of follow through. As time started to go on, and time does go on relatively fast, I decided that I was going to take my time before coming back because I was angry in a sense. Not necessarily a type of anger that I would be referring to in this video, but I didn't like where these social media platforms were going as far as censorship. You know, I've had videos taken down, but been suspended for things that I had said in my past. It just meant just to mention a particular word. It wasn't profanity, it wasn't hate speech, anything like that. Get videos taken down for harassment. I didn't harass anybody. I consciously don't harass anyone. There's no need. It's just very telling. Um, but anyway, I don't want to let any of my ideas get away from me. And, naturally you want to write them down and stuff like that. But I'm not always quick to do that. But I wanted to speak on anger and within the past week, I was talking to somebody and I basically had come to the conclusion that anger is not only one of my driving forces, but it keeps me alive in a sense, especially now in a day and age like this where you there's more pressure on you to color in the lines, be a good little boy, keep your head down, don't make too much noise, accept things as they are, and serve out your time until it's time to go, until it's time to die. And you should be so lucky to have a life like that. And I look around and I see that most people are unhappy. That's not even an exaggeration. Most people are unhappy. And it's because they took that same pill. The thing is, if you've been depressed and suicidal for as long as I've been, you just want to cut all the bullshit out. All right. You don't want to play their games. All right. There's too many times I thought I was on my way out. You know what I'm saying? But through methods of my own, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about suicide. And so every time I got to that point, there were parts of me that died off, parts that I wish I still had, but also some parts that really didn't serve me anyway. It probably doesn't serve you. And wanting to fit in, wanting to make yourself look mightier than you are, wanting to make yourself look like you're more successful than you are, whatever, happier than you are, all of those things. But one thing that does keep that fire going for me is the fire itself, which is anger. I start to feel too low and just questioning if I can make things happen, or if I start to feel like a bum or just a complete loser for not being as productive as I would want to be, then sometimes that fire kicks in. It's kind of like the heating in your house, where if the house if your house reaches a certain temperature and you got the heat on automatic, then it cuts on. And that's kind of what it's like for me, is that I never get too low without that anger kicking in, that fire. And it also kicks in where I start to worry about what other people may have to say about me. It's great to have, man, because a lot of us, we worry. I have to say, man, at a time like this day and age, in the social media age, you know, I feel like uh, we value other people's opinions just too much. We seek validation entirely too much, and that gets in the way of our productivity, our creativity, our production. What did I say? Productivity first? I meant our happiness. That's what I meant to say. Our overall joy. Because no matter what we do, we'll be looking over our shoulders, or looking up to see what the people have to say about it. And that's why whenever I put things out there, I don't ask for feedback. I don't care. The way I see it, honestly, feedback and compliments are the same thing. All right. You value it enough, then you kind of become too dependent on that. And that's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I almost feel more comfortable being disliked than being liked. Somebody likes you. It's only a matter of time before you show them something that, they may not be fond of, or they don't like you for, or that's the case with me. And then all of a sudden, oh, I don't like you anymore. You know how many people then gave me all types of signs that they liked me, and I say one thing, and then I get blocked, deleted, called all types of names, made fun of, all these things. And I'm glad that it happened because I don't want to have this false sense of reality where because somebody likes me today that they'll like me tomorrow. The thing is, a lot of people will like you so long as you stay in the box that they want you to be in. And that's not the thing for me. I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be alone. And I am a to whom it may concern type person. This message may not be for you. It may be for you. It is what it is. But I'm not going to live my life trying to trying to please people. You know what I'm saying? How many people go out of their way to please me? None. Nobody. Nobody goes out of their way to please me. Why? Why'd I go out of my way to please anybody? I don't think it makes sense. All right. So let me just tap more into this anger, and then I'm gonna go. All right. The They say anger dumbs you down, and that's a good thing in some regards. Is because you may be somebody who thinks too much. Always second guessing yourself, always psyching yourself out. If you're able to type into that right amount of motivational anger, it'll burn off some of those extra thoughts, help you see things clearly in a sense. Or if not, it fills you up with this type of energy that I think, okay, so there's this vibrational scale, and sadness and despair is down here, and depression all the way down here, and happiness, whatever, is all the way up here. Well, if I'm not mistaken, above sadness and depression and stuff is anger. You know what I'm saying? It's not as high as you would want it to be, but at least it's a step up. All right. So it's like, how upset could you be being closer to the top of the steps? You're getting closer. And if anger is, I know it really sounds counterproductive, but if anger is that thing that can bring you to a type of satisfaction, then it is a necessary tool. So I'll give you an example, and because it could be applied to anything really. Yeah, what's up, man? So I give you an example. So let's say your heart is broken because a breakup. You had a real bad breakup. You've been down on yourself. You keep checking his or her Facebook, or you're wondering who they sleeping with next or whatever. And then after a while, you just get tired of it, man. You're like, man, this probably not even thinking about me. I don't care about whatever it is. And then you get this type of anger. It was like, are you really? It's almost like you split yourself down the middle. You start looking at yourself like, are you really going to be this pathetic? Are you really going to be wallowing like this, contemplating suicide over a breakup? You know what I mean? Women are out there. You know what I mean? Men are out there. You know what I'm saying? You do things like that, and do you use that fire? You say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking start working out. I'm gonna work out today. You know what I'm saying? Then as you do that, you listen to music, you start to get you start to get hype. After a while, that becomes a kind of a habit, where you may not be as angry, but that anger was a catalyst to helping you get to that point. You say, I need to make some changes so this doesn't happen again. You know, that's why you see a lot of people, for better or worse, after they do get their heart broken, it's they become a little bit more hardened. which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And that's because they had this point in their life where, they probably had this sense of anger. It could be other things as well, but this sense of anger where it's like you're fed up. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You're fed up. And I know this many times because I'm a little firecracker and people always push me to the edge, you know, is when I get fed up, I don't I ain't worried about anything else. I'm not worried about how I look. I'm not worried about embarrassing myself. I'm fed up. I need results now. I need solutions now. So when I get like that, I know that I'm on to something. All right. And that's why I never want to be in a thinking space where I care too much about what other people have to say. If that means I got to spend more time alone, all right, fine. If I got to be more immersed in crafts and whatever it is, if I got to speak less, fine. But I will never willingly put myself in a position where I'm seeking validation from other people, thumbs up, approval, whatever it is. It's no good for me. What is good for me is that when I had those bumps in the road, sometimes the self love doesn't cut it. And maybe you feel too soft. Is when that anger kicks in, man. And I can't stress that enough. Sometimes doubt is too monumental to face with just self love. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely believe in self love, but there's a time and place for it. And maybe you can use it in unison. Maybe use it in combination with this type of anger, this type of oomph. You know what I'm saying? But um, but yeah, obviously I do believe that self love is necessary because at the end of the day, no matter how much you push yourself, when you kind of have a recess of sorts and you find yourself in your private quarters and stuff like that, and you reflect, you want to know why you're doing all of this, and you want to check in with yourself to see if you're running from anything, if you're running towards something, are you making progress? All right. So with that being said, because I don't want to get too redundant, um, maybe I'll be back later on today. I don't know. Don't have me bullshitting you, but I'm gone for now. It's very I'm actually glad to be making these videos again. Uh, but I also have other things to work on. I've been learning to love my anger more, transmute it into exercise and other productive things. Reading, yeah, absolutely. Because I can be really, I can be very hard on myself, especially because after this year, like a lot of us had, I was able to afford to not have to make money, to not have to work and for other people, but I was kind of hard on myself because I wasn't as productive as I would want to be. But I knew that it was necessary because I have an opportunity to break these cycles. I have an opportunity to just become a greater person all around with no uh, with no reliance on drugs and alcohol. I could really clear up a lot of toxicity in my way of thinking, my way of living. And I owe that to people who care about me. And I especially owe that to my daughter. And so I can't be half assing everything. And it's good to keep my ears out, to the information, for the motivational information, not just the you can do it stuff, but from people who apply these things, tangible uh, tactics that will allow you to take things to the next level. And it is really is just a combination. It's not all anger for me. All anger, that's no good. It's no good. Anger is kind of like that little spark, just a little joke. You know what I'm saying? A little 5-hour energy drink. Just to spark yourself, just to get yourself moving, move to somewhere. Okay, just like even if that just means that spark gets you to just starting something, and then now you start practicing um, the compound effect, and you say, well, I could do a little bit now, and this little bit that I choose to do for this moment, and I can do it tomorrow, whatever. I can run through the finish line. Instead of dragging myself to there because I set the bar so low, and I just run straight through it. And then you go on from there and just try to make it better. Uh, so I've been there many times. It's almost like my safety net. All right, but I'm gonna go. All right, so I hope y'all have a good one. My apologies if anybody was relying on my consistency. You know, I started to lose like a lot of steam, a lot of motivation with this thing, and even still, I'm not sold that I'm going to keep working this machine. I don't know, but I appreciate a lot of you people. You've definitely shown me that uh, some things are possible. I've received help from some of you, and I'm glad I got to be there for you as well. Yeah, thank you, man. Well, if I do show up, if you know anything about me, you know that it's not going to be just to show my face. I'm going to try to come with gifts, try to come with something. But I also got to finish working on my book, my newest book. It's I have hundreds of thousands of words. It's very overwhelming. Um, it's a mountain, and I hardly know what to do with it. I hate looking at it really because it's just like it's not fun. A lot of editing, a lot of deleting. I've never been so overwhelmed, but little by little. All right, so I'll see y'all later, man.